thought you did so. Grab a handful.
Well, I was too busy reading and signing.
Okay, you can start, Renee.
All right.
I'm not going to call the meeting to order and ask that we all rise. We can say it together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
And to the republic for which it stands,
under God,
one nation.
liberty and justice for all.
She's scribbling me up.
And that chair in front of the flag is a nice touch over
Yeah, right.
there. Tim,
Yes.
would you mind just explaining where we are right now? Because with the state allowing us to do virtual
Yes.
meetings.
So until
Everybody
January
knows.
15th, we're allowed to do virtual meetings under an executive order, actually a legislation that was passed by the state legislature, signed by the governor, which expires on January 15th. The order allows for participation by board members virtually, as long as the meeting is being live streamed and recorded. So we are being live streamed and recorded. People can watch and they can see Ann on the screen and they can hear her voice and hear her votes. So her votes would be recorded tonight because we are virtually, we are Zooming the meeting and we are live streaming the meeting and we are recording.
Thanks. It's changed, it keeps changing, so I figured I would have the legal person give us the gist of it. So first of all, I want to welcome everyone, both in person here and virtually, and wish everyone a happy new year. We're starting a new year and we've got some new faces here, so I'd like to do introductions. Or maybe Nikki wants to call the roll, but just in terms of having everybody officially recognized.
Sure, I can do a roll call.
Okay,
Supervisor Renee Rotundo,
here,
Counselor Judy McElhannon,
here,
Counselor Bill Light,
Here.
Counselor James Loomis,
Here.
Counselor Ann Christmas,
Here.
Highway Superintendent BR Way,
Here.
Attorney for the town Tim Proteski,
Here.
Town Accountant Tom Chartrand,
Here.
so welcome our two newly elected town councilors. Nice to have you here. And we're all masking, as has also been required by the state. So even though whether you're vaccinated or not, we all have to mask now. I don't know how long that'll last, who knows, but the first part of our proceedings tonight is the organizational meeting, which is starting a little bit late due to technical difficulties we had with getting the virtual meeting up and running. So I'm going to get right into it. How this will work is there are two and a half, 3 pages, I guess, of appointments and adoptions and things like that we have to approve. The list is split up among the board members, including Ann, and we all have an agenda, an organizational meeting agenda. It is available on the website. Sorry, it's not here. But I will start with making a motion to appoint Baldwin, Sutphen, and Proteski as the attorney for the town to be compensated at $36,000 a year. Second it.
Second it.
Judy seconded it.
Okay.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Bill, did you say aye?
I said aye.
Sorry. Motion carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
I will make a motion to reaffirm the
sorry.
procurement policy, the investment policy, the scraps metal policy, the fee schedule, the employee handbook. And I'd like to set 6 hours as the standard workday for part-time elected officials, part-time employees, and the code enforcement officer. along with approving the prepayment of postage, utility, and health insurance premiums.
Judy seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Motion's carried or motion, whatever.
One motion with a lot of,
One motion with a lot of sub motions. Right, Judy?
I make the following appointments.
I make a
Eastern,
motion.
I make a motion for the following appointments. Eastern Shores Associates as brokers of record. Arcadius US Incorporated as engineers for the town. MBT Bank and NYCLASS class as official banks. The Post Standard as legal newspaper. Victoria Veronica Hoteling as web manager, subject to approval of 2022 letter of engagement. And Net as IT manager, subject to approval of 2022 letter of engagement.
I would second that motion. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
I would like to make a motion to set the mileage reimbursement for travel for town business at 0.585 miles or cents per mile. The regular meeting date and time for the town board meetings will be the first Monday of each month at 6:30, except for the months of July, September, and November, when the meetings will be held the first Wednesday of the month, like July 6th, September 7th, November 6th, or 2nd at 6:30 PM. Let's see, and I would like to appoint Bob Rodriguez as code enforcement officer to be compensated $35 per hour, not to exceed $35,000 per year. I would like also appoint Leslie Rodriguez as clerk 1 to the code enforcement officer to be compensated $15 per hour, not to exceed $3,900 per year. Appoint Nicole Reed as marriage officer. Appoint Deborah Rapp as deputy clerk to be compensated $15 per hour, not to exceed $7,800 per year. And appoint Kim Memory and Ken Stevan as court clerks to be compensated $5,000 each per year.
I'll second it.
Bill seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. And
Aye.
I just didn't hear. you.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Bill?
And I'll make a motion to appoint Sue Smith as the chairman of the planning board, Dave Tessier as chairman of the zoning board of appeals, and Frank Irwin as chairman of the environmental conservation commission, each to receive a stipend of $300 per year. Also appoint Ray Randall as chairman of the board of assessment review to receive a stipend of $150 per year. Set the stipend for each member of the planning board, zoning board, and environmental conservation at $150 per year. And set the stipend for each member of the board of assessment review at $50 per meeting attended. And as well to reappoint the embargoist to the planning board. His term expires in 2029. And for nominations to fill a vacancy and finish unexpired term of planning board member who resigned, term expires 2022.
Do you have a candidate to nominate for that, Bill?
Yes, and so should that be a
Mhm.
separate motion to
Why don't-
nominate?
Tim, do we do that separately?
no, nominate who, the person's name to fill the vacancy if they want to finish.
Okay, so I would like to nominate Deb Cook to fill a vacancy and finish unexpired term of planning board member who resigned, and the term will expire in 2022.
Does every, second, any discussion? Does anyone need information?
I know her.
Deb Cook, yeah.
That's okay?
Yep.
Is it December 2022 is when the. term-
Yeah, that's this is the, that was the seat that was vacated that Karen Whalen filled
Okay.
that, there was a resignation, Karen Whalen filled it, she moved out of the town, so she had to vacate it.
Okay.
Resign, and so it's, yes, it is for the end of this year. So, all those in favor of those motions?
Aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. James,
I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Patrick Vizi to the zoning board of appeals. Term expires 2027. I'd also like to make, to reappoint Phil George and Martha
Viglietta.
Viglietta, Stan Gorman, Pauline Drexler to the Environmental Conservation Commission. Term expires 2023.
I will second that. Any discussion? No. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Nikki, I think I already sent this to you, so I just want to make sure that you have the resignation letter from, or email from Mike Niles for the ECC.
Yep, I put in this file.
So I would make a motion that we accept the resignation of Mike Niles to the ECC earlier this year. And I don't know if you have it, but Beecher Graham also resigned.
I do not have that.
Okay, so we won't accept that one yet. But I would also like to nominate Adam Scalisi to fill the vacancy occasioned by Mike Niles's resignation. That term would expire in 2023. And then there are actually with Beecher Graham, and then there is a third vacancy on the board, but those will be determined at a later date. We can consider those nominations later, but I would make those motions.
I second it.
Judy seconded. Any discussion on those?
How do you spell Adam's last name?
Scalisi, Scalisi. Adam and his mother opened a nursery landscaping business on Route 20 up by the Orin Mill.
Okay, yep, I
You
know.
know where they are.
Yeah.
And he's got a degree in civil or in landscape architecture, I should say, from ESF. He's written many environmental impact statements, which was news to me until I had my conversation with him. I've known him for a long time, his family. He went to Fabius Pompey. I think he'd be a good addition to the ECC.
No, I didn't know how to
it's
spell
fine.
his, I didn't know how to spell his name.
No, but you might as well give you a little background on him too, since
Thank
you
you.
didn't know who he was. Did we vote? Or was that-
I second it.
No, just you had a second from Judy.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. James, back to you.
I'd like to- I'd like to make a motion to reappoint Ed Drexler to the Board of Assessment Review. Term expires 2027. And nominations to the fifth board member to be determined. So
That's just not, we don't have a candidate for that,
so
so
at this point, it's just Ed Drexler to.
Yes.
All right. And I'd also like to reappoint Don Nugerbauer and Elma Hartnett to the Board of Ethics. Term expires 2022. Appoint Mary Beth Zaris as Secretary to Planning Board to be compensated at an hourly rate of $15 an hour, up to a maximum of $1,200 per year. Also to appoint Mary Beth Zaris as Secretary to Zoning Board to be compensated an hourly rate of $15 an hour, up to a maximum of $960 a year. Appoint Megan Campbell as Swim Program Director to be compensated $3,500. Appoint town official, let's see,
OSEBA, which is our health insurance.
all right, so it's, am I supposed to put a name in there?
Yes,
So we'll.
it's supposed to be me, because that's what the letter says. So I didn't want, but I don't want to presume that
All right.
that's who the board wants, so I'm leaving it up to the board to nominate someone.
All right.
Um,
How about you?
All right, so let's how about we appoint Renee Rotundo to be 2022 representative to the, OSEBA?
Yep.
Is that what that is?
OSEBA is our health
OSEBA?
insurance, yeah,
For communication purposes.
that's new this
Oh,
year.
if I'd read further, I would have read that. All right, yeah, that's my motion.
I would, well, I.
Second it.
Judy seconds it. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Motion carries. So I would make a motion to set the swim program fees for 2022 as follows. For town residents, a suggested fee structure, suggested meaning it's not required, of $40 for a first child in a family, 30 for a second child, 20 for a third child, capped at no more than $100 per family for any family with more than 3 children in the program. And for non-residents, we would set the fee at $100 per child. I'm gonna do the supervisor's.
So I make a
appointments, sorry.
motion that we accept that.
No, I made the
second.
motion.
Okay, I second
You
it.
seconded
I'm
it.
reading you.
Is there any discussion?
I would like to have some if I could.
Yeah.
Is that
That's what
possible?
this for.
I mean, one that and I apologize for time on this, but this is one that's been near and dear, and you guys all pretty much already know that. This is one of my biggest things, and I just find it extremely important. And I am very happy that it's a suggested fee. But I think for the board and for the town, I'd like to at least make the case for why I personally think it should be still with no fees at all, even though it's a suggested. So technically it would be, that means if someone doesn't, they could still take it. So it's not, it's not a mandatory fee, but my reasons for thinking there should not be a fee are, I believe that this program is much more than a recreation or to keep the kids occupied for 3 weeks in the summer, like a sporting thing. I believe this is a safety thing. I believe it saves lives. I believe this program is, I put it on the level of why we do have zoning and codes and everything else. I believe it, when a kid learns to swim, especially, if them young kids learn to swim, that's a skill they have that will last a lifetime. And with the topography we have, the ponds, the lakes, the streams, and the weather that gets weird at times, kids could end up in one of those. And if they know how to swim, they come home wet. And instead of they get dragged out several hours later or a day later when they're missing. I know from having kids and stuff, they're so attracted to water and streams and ponds and things. I just believe that that is invaluable, and I would, no one on this board or in this town could trust me if I did not stand up and just defend that program to my very best. That for me, and even me running and being here today, this was my biggest issue. I know other people might have thought other issues were bigger, but this was my biggest issue. So I personally think that we should find a way to cover it. And that's what I would like to see happen. I would like to see it just covered. A suggested fee does make it so people don't have to, but I also know that people that are, say, poor people might feel guilty by not paying a suggested fee. I have had questions like, well, should people better off? Well, they should be able to pay it. But people better off usually have fairly nice houses and are paying a lot in taxes. And some of them people have told me that it's, what else do you get for your, if you're not on a town road, they don't get, they feel like they don't get a lot out of the town, even though I could say they probably do get some, but that is something that they could still get to. So I strongly think that it should be without a fee, but that's my spiel. So thank you for the time.
Fine. Anybody else want to weigh in? Just as a comment, this town heavily subsidizes this swim program. It is not $40 worth of
Yeah.
expense per child. This past year, it was over $160 per child. So the cost for it that is being asked, the suggested fee for each individual child is really a small percentage of what the overall cost to the town is. And this program costs the town, when it's fully operational for 6 weeks, over $32,000. The other towns that pay in the $100 a child, they get a bargain for the ones that are on a municipal agreement because all they're paying is the $100. They're not paying for the rental for the pool and the lifeguards and the other, their safe water safety instructor courses, et cetera, the swim program coordinator. So the town heavily subsidizes this program. It's not as though the town is paying nothing. So I just want to say that I don't want anybody left with the impression that the town is getting off. The town is still going to pay the significant portion of this. It's just if people can afford to. And last year they were willing. We got hardly any. You okay?
I'm sorry, I saw the cough that will go away.
Do you want some water?
No, I'm okay.
Well, we got hardly any pushback on having to pay in last year.
Can I get clarification with Tom or Renee? The actual subsidy from the town, even with these contributions, has actually gone up. Is that correct? So we're actually paying even more than we were before. So our subsidy has actually gone up even after factoring in.
So
payments from
we,
people.
the way we handled it was looked at, if we can run the 6-week program this year and we can have a full pool, that it's gonna cost about $100 per child.
Yeah.
Is the actual cost per child, where it was quite a bit higher because last year we were limited on the number of students we had. in the pool. So this could all change again, but we do have to at some point set a
Limit to
dollar
our
value.
subsidy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And
Could I ask how, I think I know roughly the number, but how much did the fees mount up to last year that we took in from fees?
well, let me grab it right here. We brought in a total of $6,320, and that includes what we brought in from the other two municipalities.
All right, how much from just the, does he have the number from just the Pompey residents?
In gross, so if you want to hold on just a second, I'll fire this up and we'll find out what that was. So total we brought in from town residents was 4,000. Well, no, that's not true. I don't actually have a breakout of town residents. Alls I have is 4,370 came in from people that paid for the program. I don't remember how many were.
That's probably something Megan wouldn't.
Megan would have to tell that, but I think the majority of the kids were from Pompey.
Half and half, I'm pretty sure. it's half
Well,
and half.
Pompey, Fabius and Lafayette.
Yeah, but I'm saying the Pompey, the number of kids that were from Pompey that would have paid per the schedule here
Yeah.
was about half of the total, and I think it was maybe 98 or 99 kids total last year.
Is-
And the other half would have paid $75 a shot.
The out of town kids paid fees all along, right?
They've all,
Always have. yeah.
That's what I thought. So
But-
just the town. So it's somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 probably. Was that probably
It's
accurate?
probably less than that. It's right, town people probably less than 2,000, I would guess.
I mean, I guess that was where my point was. I thought the number was, I mean, the cost of the whole program is very high, and that I acknowledge. I've known that all along. And I feel it's still, although I wish there was ways we could find ways, prices of things don't go down. I know that, but I do feel it's still invaluable. But, my point of what I was saying here was for the town residents, I thought that, that $2,000 to $3,000, I didn't think that was I hate to make that a drill breaker, but I don't think it was a huge amount of money that I thought could be a privilege to the kids that are in this town. I thought that we could possibly not have to charge the kids in that town or their families that much, I know some, nothing gets easy for anybody, but I know for some families that fee is different, would be like the difference of someone paying their car insurance or not, that's,
I just
something
want to
I hate
remind
to.
you, James, it's a suggested fee.
Yep.
Nobody is going to know who pays or doesn't pay except for the swim coordinator. So people that cannot afford it are not going to be forced to pay anything.
Perfect.
So that, I hear your issues and I understand them, but we also have people in this town who don't believe that it's the town's responsibility to provide swimming lessons to its children. I have heard that too. So I mean,
Yep.
you have to balance all of these things, is my point.
That's,
So this is why it's a suggested fee. It's the first time we've ever done a suggested fee. And, so is there any more discussion? I don't want
No,
to cut anybody short, but, are we, so I would, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'll
You're
be,
for favor? Did you say, okay, I wasn't sure. I'm not forcing you to agree. I just,
no, it's a
Thank you.
suggested, so I,
Yeah.
because it's, they can, but I wanted to, and I think it should be fairly clear that if they can't afford it,
Right.
they don't have to.
it's
And that's-
confidential who pays and who doesn't.
All right.
It's not something that.
That's why I
anybody-
can't give you those numbers.
Yep, and that's
It's just a
fine.
bulk
I
number.
just, that's where I, if it was set fees, I would have to say no.
Yeah, and I don't ask Megan who,
All right.
who was, I don't ask her anything about the particulars of the participants. And we can revisit this at budget time. We will know how it worked. If we, with the suggested fee, the out of town fee went up by $25 a child, so it's just $100. And quite honestly, the towns that are with the intermunicipal agreement are perfectly happy to pay that because they're not
Okay.
paying for the
Right.
bulk of this program, like we are.
I'll let you know in a couple of weeks when I take it to them.
Yeah, well, I heard from one town supervisor that was gonna be fine, so
Yeah,
anyway.
thank you for the extra time.
You're welcome. So the supervisor's appointments are next, and I would make a motion, it's a four-part motion, to appoint as my deputy supervisor Don Salo, who is actually here tonight. He's a mentor to me, and I'm very appreciative that he accepted my request to become my deputy. Also, to appoint Tom Chartrand as our accountant one to be compensated on a part-time basis at $20,510 a year. And as also appoint him as our budget officer to be compensated at $4,500 per year. And lastly, to appoint Ruth Hoteling as our historian to be compensated at her regular yearly rate of $1,780.
I make a motion, we accept that.
No, I made them.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
I second it. Jeez,
Okay.
Judy.
Okay, you've got, I'm not sure, why don't you do, are you gonna be good with the last
Yes.
ones?
I'll be fine.
Okay, all those, any discussion on those? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. I saw your mouth move, Ann, but I didn't hear
Yes, definitely.
it. Okay. And Judy?
Okay,
now,
I make a motion to authorize the following for 2022. $500,000 bond for supervisor and town clerk, $50,000 bond for all others. Highway superintendent to spend up to $8,000 without prior approval.
Judy, could we amend that to add in subject to town procurement policy? Just so it doesn't appear that it's overriding procurement policy.
Okay.
Is the board comfortable with that?
Yes, because what that means is you still have to get a couple bids if it's over.
You have to get quotes or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
and
I
then-
mean, quotes. Mhm.
Okay. Petty cash fund of $125 for town clerk, tax collector. Petty cash fund of $125 for justice court. Supervisor to spend up to $1,000 without prior approval.
Second,
Ann seconded it. Any discussion on these? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. So that ends the organizational portion of our meeting. And there are a few appointments that we still, nominations we still need to make. As there are some vacancies specifically on the Environmental Conservation Commission. I think there's a spot on the Board of Assessment Review. And one spot on the Ethics Board, although I do believe that might, there is somebody, we have a candidate, but that wasn't ready for tonight. So there are a few. If anyone out there is interested, just reach out to me, the town supervisor, either by phone or by email, and if you want to be considered. So, sound good? Tim, did you have something?
Nope.
Are you good? Okay. So do we want to move right on? Let's move on to the regular meeting. And I left for this, instead of at the beginning of the organizational meeting, a moment of silence. On, what was it, December 29th, 30th, Judy. George Babette passed away, who was a 62-year-old resident of the town who lived on Bailey Road. Was the brother of our former board secretary, Donna Allnut. He would be missed by his family. That's the second death in their family this year. So if we could have a moment of silence for him and for that family. Thank you. Okay, so first thing on our substantive portion of the agenda is the update on the unsafe building at 7364 Cherry Street. I hope everybody can hear with the mask on. It seems, I feel like I'm at a distance.
I know, me too.
But it is what it is. There was enough, we were trying to connect with the engineer for Mr. Chrysler to get his opinion on the safety of the building, but we're not able to connect. Is that right? And Don can't be here tonight anyway. His family has some medical issues, so.
Yeah, I have attempted on several occasions over the last 2 weeks to get in touch with the engineer. I did get a call back today, but we've been trading calls, so I have not been able to speak with him. But the purpose of that call would be to get verification or clarification from him about whether the building, he thinks the building is unsafe, because in my opinion, his opinion does not say that.
Yeah, I provided the two new board members with
Okay.
that report so that they're aware of the report that we're referencing. And there was significant discussion about it last meeting, and since Don is not here and you haven't been able to reach the engineer, we'll put it on February's board meeting and see where we go from there. So let's move on to Tom for the bookkeeper's report.
Okay, so you have the monthly statement, the one-page quick recap. Does everybody, I think I put one up for everybody.
Yep.
So on the upper part of the page is the receipt for December. Good month for town clerk fees. Actually, I think she's exceeded almost every one of her budget lines for last year, so that was great news. Our interest rates have not increased yet, so as you can see, interest is still pretty low. Court fines are still short, about $2,500 from budget, and it doesn't look like we're gonna make it based on, since we only brought in less than $1,500. So we are not gonna make that one yet. We did get the Jamesville District School repaid us for Nikki's tax collection. Great news. Our county mortgage tax came in, and with that, we exceeded that budget line by 160,000. Don't think that'll continue in the future, because I don't know how much longer refis and sales are going to go on, but it was really nice to have that 1-year boost. Small recovery for postage, and we did get our AIM, that's a state aid, which is now part of the county sales tax that they take away from the county. Last year, when we did the budget, we were told that everything was going to be cut by 20%. We actually got the full amount, so we're about 7,000 to the positive on that particular budget line item. And we had a nice sale of scrap metal. I have no idea how much scrap metal that is, but
Dumpster full.
a dumpster. So $673 dumpster full. So that was good news.
About 11,000 pounds it was.
Okay.
Oh,
On the highway fund, again, interest pretty quiet. A few fuel reimbursements. We did exceed the estimated fuel reimbursements by about $1,000. And we had one road damage deposit. And we did the remaining balance of $2,000 that was in the transfer to reserve into the reserve for highway equipment. So that bumped that up. And payroll, just the normal stuff going on there. And on the expense side, pretty much the normal stuff. Highway abstract number 2 that looks quite large at 160,000. A lot of that is the CHIPS work that we did to finish the last of the paving. Have you submitted for that yet, BR?
Yeah.
As soon as you get it, can you send that to me so I can
Yep.
record it into my book?
Yep.
Appreciate it. And that's about it for excitement on this report. You'll get the full report with all the line item details next month. As you saw, a lot of the vouchers I wrote AP 2021. So all of those vouchers that I wrote that on in red go against last year's report. So there's no way to give you the report till you approve paying the bills. So you'll get that next time. Overall, our spending to date, general fund is at about 73%. Our revenues came in at 120%. Our highway spending, again, 73%. And their revenues came in at about 97%. And that'll change once BR gives me the numbers to post as accounts receivable from the state for the paving project.
Are we so far over revenue because of the mortgage tax?
Also, for the AIM that I mentioned, we
Yeah.
were up $7,000, but the bulk of it is the mortgage tax money. But we're over in a lot of the revenue lines.
Yes, yeah.
Because
So highway expenditures were only 73%
of what
budget?
we had estimated for budget time. One of the big things that we didn't spend there was we spent less than half, well, about half on the swim program that we'd anticipated spending. Because we could only run it for 3 weeks and we can only have so many kids in it.
But he's asking about highway.
Oh, and highway, why? Because we were waiting for a truck to come in that we budgeted to pay for.
Should come in by March.
Get that darn truck in here so we can make that expenditure.
Not even out, do you think, at 100%?
No, it won't,
Time
it won't
basis.
quite equal out. Neither of them will equal out at 100%. So we are gonna have a surplus when we get into budget cycle this year in the general fund, definitely, maybe a small one in the highway. But our spending is, like I said, our spending is at 73, our revenue's at 97, not as big of a differential there in the highway as we had in the general fund. But those numbers, the spending is gonna go up because a lot of those bills that you signed tonight go against the spending,
yeah,
so
right.
it may creep up to much as 80 or on both of those. So you'll know, I'll give you real numbers at the end of the month.
Oh, geez.
But my crystal ball doesn't tell me all the bills that are coming in tonight.
So we do move to approve the supervisor's monthly statement, even
Monthly
without the.
Well, yeah, because this is the statement, the other one's
Yes,
the monthly
that's what, I just
report.
wanted to make sure,
Yep.
even though we don't have the other, we're good to do that. So
Yep.
does somebody want to make a
I
motion?
make a
to
motion
approve
that we accept this.
The,
budget.
I'll second it.
Supervisor's report.
Ann seconded it. Any discussion other than we've already had? Bill or James? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the bank reconciliations for the supervisor, the town clerk, and the tax collector were circulated. I believe they were all signed off on.
We want to
Need a
make a
motion?
motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, to approve those.
I'll second it.
Then Bill seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, and
Very good, you two.
I've reviewed the bills here. It looks like everything's been signed off on unless there was any questions on any of them. Renee, you had one that you were holding, but I think.
No, but I already talked to, it was really just, it was a comment, but
Yep, so we're good on that one.
Yep. I
Need a
would move to
motion?
pay all of our bills, both general fund and highway.
Second.
Judy seconded. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
Okay, let's see, we talked about the end of the year spending. All right, we need an authorization for a banking resolution authorizing the town supervisor and deputy supervisor to have the ability to sign checks and to have the town clerk sign off as the resolution was made. I guess.
I'll make a motion to authorize town supervisor and deputy supervisor to sign town checks and appoint town clerk as recording secretary.
I'll second it.
And seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And I'll get with you on that at the end, Nikki.
Okay. sounds
Motion
good.
carried.
And let me just double
Oh,
check.
do you have anything else? Sorry.
That's what I'm just checking. Nope, they cleared me. I'm done.
Okay, Nikki?
Yep, if the board has had the chance to review, I'm looking for board acceptance of the 12/3/21 regular meeting minutes.
I would move.
I'll make a motion.
I'll beat you to it, Ann.
Yeah,
You could be my second.
all right, I'll second it.
Any discussion? Everybody get a chance to read the minutes? Yes. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That
That's
it?
it, yep,
Okay. And tax season started.
yes, it has.
Yes. Yeah,
Yes,
yes.
the declaration of town property is surplus, which I actually thought I had a list together here for Tom. Yeah, right there. Actually, I got one for each of you. Wrote down a list of stuff I wanted to actually auction off
Do you want to share that? with
and stuff that is actually need to be thrown out and whatnot.
Let's hear. There's some for, one for Tom, one for you. So that cat loader is the one you're gonna be,
That's the one I need to get approval to order that we budgeted for already.
and the one that you're getting rid of, you need to set a, what do you call that? A
reserve.
A reserve.
So, okay, let's go with that one. So to the town supervisor and counselors, the highway department is seeking board approval to purchase a new loader, Cat 950 GC, under New York State OGS NGPA contract number PC 69406 from Milton Cat for the total sum of $201,422. Bid and loader specifications are provided, which is all right here. So what I got here is I got a trade-in value through Milton Cat. So after looking through auctions internationals, it seemed like it was kind of low to all of us.
The amount, the trade-in amount,
The trade-in amount was 65,000.
okay.
So this loader is 10 years old, but it has less than 3,000 hours on it. So we're thinking we can get somewhere between 70, 80,000 for it if we auction it off. So I'd like to buy this outright for the 201,422. Auction off the loader, set a reserve, so we don't get anything less than the 65,
Mhm.
and then see what we can make on it. But that's the bid proposal. That's the specs on the loader itself, if anybody wants it.
So you buy that, when are we gonna see that come?
If I order
2
it
years
tomorrow,
from
it'll be
now.
6 to 8 months.
Okay.
All right, so we have 180,000 in the equipment for the loader and pickup combined. So we would need to move some funding from the transfer to reserve. We have 115,000 scheduled to go in at the end of the year. So what we should probably do is move that money from the reserve to cover the balance needed here. So basically 22,000.
And then when the.
And then when we
auction-
sell at auction, then we can use that money to replenish those accounts.
reimburse.
But you wouldn't be able to sell the loader you have until the new one was here.
Exactly, I can't do without a loader, right?
Right.
So it might not, well, we'll see what it's worth then, but it's definitely gonna hold off you being able to figure out what that would be,
Yes,
but still fair. All right.
So I will profess to having to defer to those of you who know more about heavy equipment purchases and pricing and all of that, to know that that's a better deal than to take it off the top here with, and only have to pay
Yeah.
the The
See-
2010 minus 65.
Right, because I was worried that if I did that, they take away some of my municipal discount or special cat discount, which they're not. They're still giving me the same discounts.
Oh.
So why not
Okay,
see
as
if we
long as,
can,
I mean, I know it's a risk.
it is, well, yeah,
So
but
you're
as
not
long as we
gonna-
set the reserve, we don't get anything less.
Okay. What do you think about that, Mr. Conservative bookkeeper,
Yeah.
Tom Chartrand?
All right, so our only risk is if they were offering us 65,000.
Yes,
If we don't meet that 65,000, can we still accept that contract later?
the trade-in,
We can still accept their 65,000.
yes,
Oh, so that they would take that
and on trade.
So they would.
even,
they-
even after, at the end of the deal, then they would still be like, they would still take that?
Yes,
So the deal is written right now that they will either give you 65,000 for the used one,
that's right there.
or they will allow you to pay for it in full and not
sorry.
trade.
I was looking at it.
I think that lowers the risk. I mean, we know we can get 65.
It probably makes sense. It's not that old and like something's gonna happen to it next
Right.
6, 8 months. It isn't like it's gonna blow.
Oh,
up
don't
into
jinx it now.
Yeah.
something. Sorry,
I did that the last time with the great all and it broke down the next day.
I'm in farming. I know how things go.
I'm just saying. And I got blamed because I said that at a board.
Well, I mean, this does say on it less the cash trade-in. But we're okay if we don't give them the trade-in, right? We still pay the full price? Doesn't say it anywhere
The
in the
price
sheet.
I have on an email where he told me the price, if I buy it outright, is 201,000 or 22.
Okay. So where did the two? You said 201,4.
I think so. I don't have.
Yep, there it
Yeah,
is.
201,
201,422. Okay.
Or 20.
Yep, all right, we can make this work.
Do you need to keep that no signed original between Bill and James? Who's
Oh,
that?
yeah, we
Who's
need that.
that?
Sorry,
Is that
there you go.
Tom?
He can have it. Yeah, whoever wants it.
I think Tom should.
I will just make a copy and give them back.
I have a copy. You can keep it.
Well, Nikki's needs a copy of both in her minutes.
So give one to Nikki.
So before you authorize the purchase, I would recommend that we make a budget transfer from DA 9950.9 to DA 5130.2 of 22,000. And I've got a cheat sheet for Nikki here. You want to pass that down to Nikki?
So that's from that.
That's
where
from the
reserve
transfer
is.
to reserve into the new equipment line so we have enough to cover the purchase that you're going to be
Because
offering.
it was 188 we have in
We have
there.
180 in there now.
180.
Yep. We have 180 in there. You need 202 roughly.
Oh, 202. Okay. I thought it was-
201, 422, but I just wanted to give you a little
Yeah.
leeway there.
Yep.
So I would make a motion to transfer those funds from the 9950 account, and I didn't catch the second one, sorry.
5130.
5130 account to be able to have sufficient funds to cover the cost of this payloader.
I second it.
Any discussion? Other than what we had? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, do we have to now authorize him to purchase and?
You can
set a
authorize the
reserve?
purchase of that loader, yes.
So I would make a motion to authorize the highway superintendent to purchase the payloader as identified in the written proposal that he signed and submitted to the board in the amount of 202,000 and change. I don't have it in front of me, I'm sorry. And also to set a reserve of 65,000. Or
Well, no, you can't do that until we're closer,
so we.
not until you're ready to authorize.
So we're just gonna authorize that he can purchase. Any
I'll
second?
second it.
Bill seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
That's one down.
Yeah.
Let's see, Judy, I think I told you earlier, talk to Crossroads. Oh, no, this is the speed reader. Speed reader should be here next week. So So once we get those, we gotta figure out where you guys want
Yes,
them or
we will. We can work on that.
Okay,
That's great.
that's
And
fine.
my concern is we have a voucher in there for the cost, the full cost, but we don't have the speed readers yet, and I would prefer not to pay that until we make sure that we get the remainder of the parts in.
So so we have a 17,620.66. Is that the total for the speed readers?
That's
Or is there
everything.
gonna be additional cost?
No, that's it. Well,
How many of them is it?
that's 6.
6 of them.
6. Thank you.
So do we wanna authorize the rest of the payment on this voucher, or do you want me to just make up a new one and you guys can sign off on the difference?
Yeah, because there's more than one cost.
Right, there's more than one
there's
thing
more
on
than
this
one.
one voucher, unfortunately.
Yeah,
So.
I just am,
I'll pay the whole thing, or I can make another voucher.
are they,
I should, if you want to hold it for a week, and then I can let you know.
Okay.
we've approved it.
Yes,
You've approved it, so do you want to hold off on issuing the check until the speed readers are in hand?
that's fine. And as soon as they hit my shop, I'll call you, let you
Yeah,
know.
and then I'll. sign
Okay.
it.
Or you, yeah.
Or I
I'll
can
write the
sign.
check, I'll write the
sign.
check, and we'll stick on it for Renee,
You can-
because we need that canceled check back in order to apply for the grant to the county.
Right,
But I just wanted to make sure there's no other parts coming in or everything. This is the total submittal to the county.
That was it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the total submittal to the county, because we were supposed to include in that some sort of a informational signage that we were gonna put out here that has not been ordered yet, I don't believe. That was part of the proposal that.
Seemed like there was more than 17,000.
We had up to 25,000 to spend, and so we wanted, but we're also, we have some signage discussion coming up with Judy, but I know that there's been discussion about trying to have some sort of a electronic sign that we can keep people notified about whether it's bad weather coming or you know, an upcoming public hearing that's of concern to the town or whatever the issue might be, or pancake breakfast, you know, whatever, that we could use that. So there is more, so I wouldn't submit that yet.
I'll check with Dave too and see if we can do a partial maybe.
That's quote down on my desk, so I can look at it.
Yeah, I
tomorrow.
think you do. Okay,
This is what I spoke to Judy about. The entry signs are being put together. Actually, Mr. Purcell's working on that for us.
Oh, awesome, great.
And as soon as he gets a couple up, we'll start putting them in
I
spot.
know where it is. Okay, that'd be awesome.
I think there were 6 of those too, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
6 of those.
I'm currently working on getting some bids together for an all-wheel drive cabin chassis to purchase, which they are 2 years out if I order today. Well, that's something we gotta get moving out of here.
we budgeted for that, right?
We
That
budgeted,
was in
yes.
there. that
But we
budget
budget,
time.
that's another thing. We budgeted, I think it was 180,000 for just a cabin chassis. And I got one preliminary bid at around 205,000 just for cabin chassis.
Ooh,
So the price of those have really skyrocketed.
wow.
And actually, a fully outfitted all-wheel drive truck, you're looking at close to 400,000.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty scary.
Yeah,
And that doesn't, and it doesn't matter what you make, they're all about the same, so.
yeah.
Just for the record, on that payloader, I did call a couple other places just to get comparative quotes. And they never got back to me, so
This is government contract.
this is under government
State
contract.
Contract, I believe. Yes.
So that was the loader. Okay, the tree removal, actually. I think Tom said that I got everything you needed for that.
It looks pretty good
So if
now.
you guys wanted to approve that, I think the money is already set aside or approved
Yeah, this
before,
is-
but that might be a little more than what you had approved the last month or 2 months ago.
And did you see the,
Yeah, I sent it to
Oh,
Tom
okay.
and you.
the disclaimer? I've never seen one like that before. This is to remove the ash tree that overhangs the schoolhouse and is
Oh,
in
right.
danger of falling onto the schoolhouse.
So we have a current budget of $1,500.
Hmm?
This is 1,800.
What?
I knew it was 1,500. No, you budgeted for it. So that's a little more.
Yeah, this is 1,800.
We could probably take the other 300 out of the buildings.
Bring it back.
You have to go back to BR
Yeah, I'll keep
so
it.
the board can approve it, and then you'll have the paperwork.
So we need to make a motion.
Yep.
Yes, because it's a general fund expenditure, not a highway one.
Yeah. So a motion to authorize or approve of Martha Tree Service for the cost of $1,800 to remove the tree that is over by the schoolhouse and I can't, yeah, I want to make sure I can read it right. Yeah. They're gonna use an aerial lift and make sure that there's no damage in the meantime, so. But
And only principals are performing the work, so there's no
yes,
prevailing wage situation.
I second it.
okay, any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
And then, of course, the last thing is this list here.
So at the bottom of the handwritten sheet that DR gave to the board is to be thrown out list. Otherwise known as,
Most of it is junk, but Tom, you have it.
Okay, so there's two different things here. So at the
Yes.
very bottom to be thrown out.
Yes, this is in your inventory list, so.
Yep.
So if you declare that they could be tossed or whatever, it's got to come off your list, that's all.
And then the stuff up above it, the fabricated, the rim, the fabricated dump truck, the culvert pipe, and the old V plows are gonna be sold at auction.
I want to, when I do the loader, I want to do all that at the same time.
Oh, okay. Well, then
So
I
that's.
want to declare, I guess are you gonna use any of that between now and then? If you blow the rim out on your cat, or you
No.
need that rim?
No,
Okay. So I guess you could declare that surplus, the things at the top above where it says to be thrown out, except for the loader itself.
right.
And then you could actually, if you wanted, you could put that on the town website or something if you want, before you go to Auctions International, if somebody's interested in buying it.
Okay,
And then bring back to the board if somebody's interested in it, and then they can say whether that's a fair price, and then you can be authorized to sell it.
I don't have that fork truck on there, do I? No, you gotta add that EL fork truck.
fork,
Yep,
like spoon.
yep.
Well, with masks on, I really,
Forklift, yes.
That's on above the list, or is that for scrap?
It was supposed to be on
the surplus.
the surplus, either auction off or sell.
What is it, a forklift?
Yeah, it's a Yale 1960 something Yale that was gifted to us by GE a long time ago. And it just, sorry.
Okay. So we have, in addition to the cat loader, which
Nope, the cat loader, we're not doing
You're
it.
not doing that
separate, I
right
was
now,
just
yep.
gonna say, and it's
That's separate.
separate from that. We're going to declare the cat 950 rim, the fork truck, the Yale 1960 fork truck, the town fabricated dump box,
Yep,
miscellaneous steel culvert pipe.
Yep.
It's located at the dump, and old G plows.
Yep.
There are 5 of them. You might keep.
we want to keep a couple probably.
So we were going to declare, I'd make a motion to declare these items surplus that would be then available to dispose of.
For sale.
For
For
sale.
sale,
Sale.
sorry.
So that does not have to go to the auction then, Tom? Those
If you have somebody local that wants to buy it, you can come back to the town board and they can
Okay.
decide whether it's enough. Now, if you're gonna take them to auction, the board should set a minimum residual value on it. So that you can, or they could do that tonight too, if they wanted to, but
Yeah, we don't
if
know.
you're gonna sell them local, why don't you bring back whatever somebody's
Okay.
offering you for the
Why don't we
next?
give it a month and you can come
That's
back
fine,
with some
yep.
prices, so.
I seconded that.
Judy seconded it. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, motion carried to declare those items surplus. And then,
Then on the scrap list, it would be an authorization to declare those scrap and to authorize the highway superintendent to dispose of them at the lowest cost possible. Which means if he
Scrap
takes them to Metallico, he's
Scrap that.
getting a little bit of money for us, but that way we don't have to set a rate for him.
Okay, does anybody want to make that
authorize-
motion? I
I make
don't
a
need to make them all.
motion. I make a motion that we authorize BR to take all that and get scrap metal.
Oh, there's a sold, a pickup truck that says sold, so that would be excluded from the,
That's excluded, but that's still on your inventory list here.
right, but that's not part of the.
No.
Okay, just note that.
So with the exception of the pickup truck, the
Yes.
items listed under scrap, the motion is to
To clear
Let
that.
'em stop.
declare them scrap.
Scrap
and be able
metal.
to-
I'll second it.
Okay, so Jean made the motion, James seconded, any discussion? All those in favor? Aye, opposed? Motion-
Aye.
Sorry, Ann, it's away. Okay, anything else?
One last thing.
Oh, boy.
Did- Hang
Only
in tight,
because-
we're getting there.
Only because there's only 2 items on his list and he did not tell me about all these other items.
Well, I actually sat at my desk all day and come up with a bunch
Okay.
of stuff.
I can certainly tell.
You guys,
One thing, we need more snow.
Yeah, exactly.
oh, by the way, we've been around 20 times so far, so
20 times, huh?
14 for December.
Yeah,
that's
you've been
not
by
too
my
bad.
house a bunch. in the
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of
last
snow, it's just a lot of pain in the neck stuff, but
Slippery.
you guys were working on a policy to get rid of electronics and stuff. I just
Mhm.
wonder where we're at with that.
Well, we're almost there.
Okay,
Almost there.
So that's the disposition of property policy and quite honestly, I have to, Nikki and I just haven't dealt with
Okay.
it this
No,
past
that's
month, so, but it's there. Thanks for bringing that up.
got it.
And just for those of you, we apologize for the fact that James and Bill have handwritten nameplates. But even these, which were ordered back in early November, we cannot get them. We've ordered them, but they are not, then we can't get them. in. So I apologize to them because it's very unprofessional. So. Okay. Who's next? Poor Tim.
No, mine's easy.
You got the easy one.
So the town of Pompey contracts with the village of Manlius to provide fire protection in the Pompey Fire Protection District. This is a standard contract that we've used in the past. There are no changes to it. We're paying $208,844 for the fire service and $124,017 for the ambulance service. For a total of $632,861.
Which is $1 less than we budgeted.
So if anybody wanted to make them, if anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. The contract has the standard provisions in it for insurance, for indemnification. So all the things that we would want the village to do as a service provider to the town.
I'll make a motion that we authorize Renee to sign the contract with the Village of Manlius for the fire protection and ambulance.
I second it.
James seconds it in, made the motion. Any discussion? All those in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Aye.
Did we get one for Delphi?
I don't think yet.
I haven't received any.
Okay.
It's been a week.
Nikki,
Yeah.
Nikki, we used to do that and send it to them. There's a form that used to be on the computer. I can talk to you tomorrow
Okay,
on that.
sounds good. Sure.
Okay, Judy,
Okay,
some signage info for us we need
Yeah.
to consider.
the sign outside that says Pompey Town Hall Highway Department kind of split a half at the last storm we had. So I called our friend Nancy Abbott and she said, she has a lot of questions. She said, do you want a new post? Do you want a new logo? Do you want everything to match the brand new signs that we just got? Or, so we need to make a decision on, do we want to change and have the new sign put up? Because she has to know all that before she can give us a quote.
It's going to look similar in terms of shape to the other signs I mean, this one isn't
This one's wider. than-
yeah, no, it would be bigger.
Yeah,
Right, But she's saying, do we want it to look like the brand new signs that we just got with the logo like that on it? But it can't look like that because it doesn't, it won't be saying the highway department on it. So we gotta still stick with the old sign.
Are the posts and stuff still good or is it?
Well, that's
She
not- I
said,
mean,
are they?
I can get them both, that's no, not a big deal.
Okay.
Actually, I probably got extras.
So that makes a difference. Do we want to keep it like that? This is what it looks like now, now. Do we want to keep it like that, or do you want it to be the posts that look like the brand new sign she
To
said?
have the
So
logo on it.
they would have a logo on it.
I think it
So-
should have, I think it should include the town hall on the highway. I mean, I think that's.
Yeah, I do too.
clear.
Yeah.
That should clearly be
Yeah.
part of the signage.
Yeah.
I would ask her to make up a couple of designs.
Okay.
And get back, and then we can.
Okay.
See what it looks like, but do you have a preference?
Do you have a picture of the signs we're putting up?
I didn't
You
have.
don't
one.
have one on your phone?
No, I don't have it on my
Probably
phone. And then the other thing is she wants to know about the sign in the hamlet of Pompey.
Yeah.
Are we going to redo that like we talked about doing it?
Redo
That big sign?
the roof or,
The whole thing?
well, I think it just needs a roof.
Doesn't it just a new roof then?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
maybe
we
some-
talked
and
though
maybe some
about
stain.
getting a new sign there that would be, we would replace that one, which is like 25. It's old.
Right. You want to do a new
And
sign
wood.
or new banners?
No, not new, not banners.
No.
It would be a wooden, it would be a sign that would go,
like basically where it is now.
yeah.
We budgeted $1,000 for the Hamlet sign. So that gives you an idea of what,
Yeah, so why don't we get some,
Get some quotes.
well, not
Well,
even
get some
get some
ideas.
design concepts that we can look at to give us. Cause I'm not, I can't. I know. decide.
But were you gonna do different banners for different seasons? Or no?
Well, we can as far as, but we want to have a sign there that,
No, that's fine, yeah.
that is similar to the rest
Do
of
you want those down too? Or leave them up for now?
the season's greetings
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, she thought we should take it down.
It should come down
All right.
along with the lights.
Yeah, the lights.
They're down.
Wow.
They're
Trees,
down.
trees gone. Got the stump stuck
We
there.
have to,
We took those.
we
We
need
cut it
to have
down
a,
with a chainsaw.
we need to have a
Cursed
better,
away.
take their lights down. I should
lighting.
put that at home.
next year.
So I definitely gotta look into that.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'll have her make up
have her
some new
give us some things
designs
to look at.
and then I'll bring it back to the board
Yeah.
next month.
Okay.
I was just thinking, if we're getting a interactive sign out there, should we just make
Well,
part of this incorporated into one whole unit as opposed to two different
and
signs?
it's funny you bring that up because I was driving, I forget if it was Jamesville Fire Department, someplace where they have, it's almost framing the the informational piece of the, the LED part, but it frames it with the more traditional looking signage like what we have out here. And then the middle is where you can change up the message that is.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So we might want to look into, I don't know if she can do that.
Okay,
The frame that within which we would put that. So, but we could also, we can check with some of the other places. I know Janesville has one like that and so does DeWitt. And it looks nice because it keeps the traditional look, but it also allows you to provide information to your public.
all right.
Is the digital one gonna go like right with the other one? Or is that what we're trying to figure out is how we would put that?
Well, I think if next time you go down 173 past the fire department, look at how they're signed there.
I'll do that.
It's a combination of a traditional shaped sign within which is the LED portion where you can change that message, but the rest of it looks similar to that.
To that.
So it's sort of a combination.
Okay.
But it's just
I'll
a
drive
thought.
I'll drive that way next time. I'm heading.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking then maybe you don't want Nancy to spin her wheels yet until you can
Decide what we want.
decide for the
Yeah,
electronic sign.
yeah.
Get it all in one package.
yeah, I think that's.
Okay.
Maybe Dave will pick up more of it for us that way.
I'll take pictures.
Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be, that might work. Yeah, okay. You good?
I'm good.
Okay. You know, I put COVID on my list, but I really want to ask Nikki, we did get, just for the public's information, a very small supply of home test kits last week, and masks, and I still think we have a number of masks. And we are expecting more. I keep being told this week. So I don't know if there's been anything from the county that you know of about.
I know they have not come in yet.
Okay,
I know they were expecting
Yeah.
them late last week, but they-
so for anyone who did not have the opportunity to get one, a test kit that needs one, because we really were trying to focus last week on the vulnerable, both the public, the essential workers that have to work and serve the public, like the highway crew, our EMTs, our fire departments, Biggest County outreach. And then those that have a vulnerability or are at risk. And so in any event, we're getting more. We just don't have any control over it. And we had no notice, no advance notice of when we were getting them and how to distribute them. So we're doing the best we can. We really don't want to have anyone who is providing the public with a service, whether it's the clerk's office or the fire department or the ambulance crews or whoever, at risk any more than they have to be. And if there's any possibility they're sick and need a test and won't spread it to the rest of the crew and shut down the whole service. That was the goal of the first round. We still had about 55 kits, I think, to give out to the public. I forget how many exactly. So we did go through all of it, but hopefully we're getting more.
And Renee,
And check the Facebook page.
at Fabius Pompey School District, all the kids were sent home with one test kit today.
And that's the other
Oh, that's
thing.
good.
Thank you, for parents to know, for people to know that if your children go to school, they will get distributed at.
They were
school.
distributed today at Fabius.
Good.
Oh, good.
So I know some of the people came in last week wanting them for their kids and, which was fine. We didn't discriminate, believe me. It was the people came, they got them, but. So anyway, the other thing, Bob Rodriguez left me, a printout of the summary of the codes office work for last year. I'm gonna send this down the line for the board to just take a quick peek, but the bottom line is that, at the end of 2021, 111 permits got issued, 36 have been completed to date. And he took in $15,755 in permit
Great,
fees. So
great.
that's a good chunk. That's about where it normally is, right, Tom?
That's hard to say.
I mean, it
Normal.
seems like that's
It's
similar
been
to
a
last
few
year.
years. It's been a few years since we've had normal, so.
Oh, well, that's true.
All right.
So I want to share that with the board and the community. We also are planning to exchange, we've done that, the town hall has had all of its lights replaced with LED lighting. And we are in the process of having that accomplished at the highway garage next. And so we needed to get a couple of quotes, given the cost of it. And John Shaheen, one of the planning board members who's all things clean energy, sort of spearheaded that effort, got some proposals. I gave the board the email exchange from John, so you could see that one of the proposals was only a partial quote, so it had to be disqualified, if you, I guess, but the other two that were appropriate. Yeah, bless you. And the lower bid of the two went to Green Team Lighting. So we're looking for a motion to I'm looking for a motion to award this the work to be done for the LED lighting project to Green Team Lighting for the cost of $7,724. That I believe is after the NYSERDA
After the
incentive.
NYSERDA grant.
That's the cost to the town.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
That we use Green Team Lighting. The cost is $7,724 after the NYSERDA credit, right?
Second it.
Judy seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion carried. I just want to, for those of you who weren't aware, the planning board did meet in December with the first tier 3 solar project that they had the concept site plan review before them for that project. They did make a decision, a recommendation. It has not been reduced to writing. And I know that, was that somebody else? And so we don't have it in front of us. I know they are voting not to recommend. They voted not to recommend the project, but it is a 4-2 split vote. So they are meeting again to approve the written version of the recommendation in at their January board meeting. So we will take that issue up in February. I do have some issues I would like to share with the board once we get the written recommendation before us, and we can all review the planning board meeting minutes too. So, anybody got any questions other than what I just wanted to update?
Renee? John Shaheen has raised his hand to talk, is probably wants to add something to what you're talking about. Wants to talk.
That's okay.
Up to you, the chair.
Does anybody have objection to him not speaking? He is a planning board member. He did vote against the vote, which he was in favor of the project, which is sort of backwards, but.
John, can you hear us? You can go ahead and talk. Are you there? John? Well, we can just leave it open and if you put.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'd like to ask the board to authorize, to the extent they want to go, and it's a virtual training, new officers training for our 2 new town councilors. The training it's live at the end of this week, but it's also going to be archived. So if you pay the registration fee, you can watch it at your convenience. So, but I know Bill wants to go. You were questionable.
Yeah, I was trying, I was questionable. I did not, I was trying to decide, so.
I don't know what but I guess we could, you have to
You can
register.
authorize the reimbursement for both, and if only one needs it, then we'll only reimburse one of them.
Okay. So I would make a motion to authorize you to attend the new officers training, newly elected officer training that's being held at the end of this week. To the extent that you decide to go, the town and afford it, the town will reimburse. Second it. Okay, any discussion? No, are you with us?
I am.
All those in favor?
Any discussion?
I think he's a quiet guy. I know. I know.
Oh my God.
I didn't mean it in a
If I had
negative
some, I
way.
would have told you.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. And then, I know you are. Also, I would ask the board to consider, and if anybody else, we don't have the money to cover the cost of fully attending the annual meeting in the Association of Towns unless we move money around. It's in New York City. Why they have it in New York City every year? Does anybody understand that when it's a town? It's all towns and they have it in the most expensive city in our state. It doesn't make any sense to me. But, well, to some extent, it gets a little cost prohibitive, but I would like to attend if the town could pay the cost of the registration. I would cover the cost of everything else, my incidentals, travel, meals and lodging, so. But I don't, I want to be, I would like approval for it. I'm not interested in going until I see an agenda, and they have not put an agenda out yet, so.
I make a motion that we allow our supervisor Renee Rotundo to take the the class down in New York City if she so desires.
And to be reimbursed
And
for
to be
$150 at
For
the,
Or the
$150
registration
for
fee, that way in case it
registration.
changes.
yeah,
I'll second it.
Bill seconded it. Any discussion? You thinking, James? You look like you're thinking. All those in
Always think.
favor? I know.
Aye.
In favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
And normally you appoint a voting
We
designee.
already did that last.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're done with that?
we did it in December. I think
Okay.
he must, you
Yeah,
stepped
yeah,
out.
yeah.
We're-
I have 8 of them every month, so I don't remember.
No, I think we
We
left
authorized-
early. We did
yeah,
it
we
last
did.
month.
We
Okay.
did it.
So, okay, so before I get to Mr. Rohr, the only other thing is I just want to commend Len Whitakin, who's one of our town residents, for the job he's done painting the town lobby. It's a new look.
Yeah.
It badly needed it from after the leaking from the cupola, and we finally got it done, and it looks so nice. And so hopefully when people stop in, they'll notice it. But now, on a good note, on a very happy note, I'd like to, I was approached by Wallace Rohr's family, asking if there was anything we could do on the occasion of his 100th birthday. So I was delighted.
Singing happy birthday.
Yeah, to be able to tell them, of course, we could, they love the idea that we would do a resolution for him. I've also contacted the county legislature and asked them to do a proclamation on his behalf. Honor Flight, which is a military organization honoring veterans, is also going to participate. In fact,
That's great.
the woman who's in charge locally, if I can pull up her text, we've been texting back and forth about this. His birthday is this Friday, January 10th. They are looking to do, the family she has 5 children. The family was originally not looking to do a big event because of COVID. They were, and because of his age, and so we're going to each do something individually, but I think there's going to be some sort of a drive-by on Friday for, and I know they're reaching out to the Delphi Falls Fire Department to see if they could participate. That would involve those who want to celebrate the occasion of his 100th birthday. Here she is. She said, his birthday and celebration are on the 10th. We have the manliest VFW scheduled to do a gun salute. I've ordered a flag from Congressman Capco's office, which has been flown over the US Capitol and will be presented by the 174th Honor Guard. Piper Jack, the bagpipe player, will also be there. Just so you know, and so she wanted me to know so I could tell people tonight that this is happening. I don't know when on Friday. When we find out, we can post something on our Facebook page.
10th is Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, we said,
Why am I saying Friday?
didn't you say Saturday in there too? Or what was the?
What's the date?
She said the 10th. It's Monday. Thank you, Veronica. It's Monday. I don't know why I had Friday in my head. So there are going to be some events that are actually going to happen on his
Birthday.
his birthday, and
If they take pictures, have them send to us.
Okay.
Post on Facebook.
oh, yeah. And so in the meantime, the resolution that I drafted with Tim's help, because I wasn't sure how to do it. 'Cause I'd never done one before. I just want to read into the record what it says, and then I'd ask the board to consider passing this so that we can present this to Mr. Rohr. Whereas on January 10, 1921, Wallace S. Rohr was born in the family farmhouse in Pratt's Hollow, Madison County, New York, the second oldest of 7 children, where he attended a one-room schoolhouse and was valedictorian of his graduating class. Whereas in 1943, Wallace S. Rohr joined the military and became part of the 14th Army Air Corps Flying Tigers and was stationed in China during World War II as an air traffic controller. He worked at several air bases which targeted Japan and served until 1946 when he was honorably discharged from service. And whereas through a GI Bill, Wallace S. Rohr attended Syracuse University and graduated with a degree in civil engineering. And whereas while at Syracuse University, Wallace S. Rohr met his wife Norma, and they were married in 1951 and celebrated 70 years of marriage this past September. And whereas upon college graduation, Wallace S. Rohr began a career in the construction field, which career culminated in ownership of his own construction company, Walgene. Wall for Wallace and Gene for his friend who he was in partnership with. And whereas Wallace S. Rohr and his wife settled in the Delphi Falls community in 1960, where they have resided for 61 years, raising 5 children who are all successful in their own right. They have 14 grandchildren, 1 deceased, and 5 great-grandchildren. Now therefore, be it resolved that the town board, on behalf of the people of the town of Pompey, proudly recognize the exemplary life and accomplishments of its resident, Wallace S. Rohr, that we honor him for his service to country, community, and family, and extend sincere congratulations to him on the momentous occasion of his 100th birthday. And further resolve that the town board of the town of Pompey, on behalf of the people of the town of Pompey, extend heartfelt wishes to Wallace S. Rohr for days filled with family and friends, storytelling, berry picking, and watching SU sports. So I would make a motion that this board adopt this resolution so that it can be personally delivered to Mr. Rohr on the occasion of his 100th birthday.
I second it.
Judy seconds it. Anybody have anything to add?
This is awesome.
Yeah,
That makes,
it's a
it
happy.
makes when you're 50 or only middle aged.
So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carried. So this will be presented to him. I will work with the honor flight people and we'll keep Nikki and you posted so we can put something on our Facebook page. I hope it's not a surprise. Maybe he can, but it's difficult to plan something without his knowledge.
Right.
The other thing is I found out today that the Eagle newspaper did this great article on him and his wife, and where did I put it? Where's my wallet? File. And this was the picture. You probably can't. This was the picture that went with the article of the 2 of them. His wife Norma is 90 years old, so she's a spring chicken compared to Wallace, but
dynamite.
there's only, I think, 2% of the veterans that fought in World War II left alive. I mean, it's a very, very, very small number, so. And we have one in our town, which is pretty amazing. Yeah, we share
Yeah,
that.
he was here when we got the piece of metal from the battleship out there.
That's right. I knew there was some, it was a while, I think I was on the town board then, but I remember that. I was trying to remember what it was for.
He was very proud of that. He was
Yeah.
very excited.
So, anyway, that's a great note to end on. I don't know if we got John back or if there's any public comment. If there's public comment from anybody here, just ask you to raise your hand and identify yourself and where you live. If there's public comment on Zoom or Facebook, Veronica will handle that, but we would also need to know your name and where you live.
Yeah.
So we'll give it a minute or two, and is that John raising his hand again? Or
No, it's just from before.
Okay,
He's unmuted, so he can speak if he wants, but
well, I did speak with him today about the decision, planning board decision, so I think they'll take that up at the next planning board.
I have no questions or chats right now and nothing.
How are you
Okay,
guys doing tonight?
So who would like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that we adjourned our meeting.
Okay,
I'll second it.
Bill seconds it. All those in favor? Aye, opposed, motion carried. Thank you all. Thank you, Ann, for zooming in.
Thank you for coming.
Oh.
Bye, Ann.
I'll nudge you.
Okay.